Hello, team, and welcome to the Ladies' Best Life podcast. Today is episode 90, and we've got an incredible guy here who is going to be talking about his journey on how he, as a busy entrepreneur, keeps himself in good shape, looks after himself, and hasn't fully lost the plot yet. So, Christian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for a beautiful introduction. I've only half lost the plot, just not. Yeah,
your shit is together just about.
It hangs on a little thread, but it's still there.
Love it. So do you want to just briefly tell people what you do so they know who you are, what the fuck you do, and how it is you are?
So Christian Chapman, coached by Christian on Instagram. That's what most people know me as. So I run an online coaching company. I also have a business consultancy as well on the side for coaches, essentially. Been doing coaching. I've started coaching people 6 or 7 years ago, but my business only fully went solo. I didn't have another job. Coming up to 3 years next month. And it's been a pretty fucking mental 3 years. So yeah, that's me. Bodybuilder, or at least try to be, compete myself. I take on pretty much anyone, whether that's someone that's just getting into the gym, lifestyle, to pro athletes as well. So, and everything in between.
And do they have a joint, does pretty much everyone in the group have a joint collective outcome, or is it different per person?
Completely different per person.
Okay. How do you manage that? Because if you go from, you've got people going through prep, and then you've got your average Sally who walks in and has never lifted a weight in her life.
So a lot of that is how you talk to someone, I think. Okay. And I used to run bars for a living. So bars, restaurants, nightclubs, hotels, stuff like that, which means you meet thousands of different people and you start to understand, right, everyone ticks in a different sort of way and you have to speak to people differently. The way I speak to a competitor couldn't be further from how I speak to your mate, Sally, who's just, I don't want to say just starting out. I don't really get any beginners that inquire, to be fair, anymore. Let's say someone who's wants to get to the gym, wants to keep in shape, just wants to lose a bit of body fat and stuff like that. I'm not telling them, right, you're not allowed to fucking eat off plan once. Okay. I'm saying, yes, happy wife, happy life. Let's go for food. Let's, be able to go out and it not just completely fuck your week. And you can still make progress. Or busy individuals. I have people that, I don't understand how they actually do it. People have, I don't have a wife. I don't have a missus. I don't have kids. No one's dependent on me. So it's great. But when you throw that in the mix, it does make things a lot harder. But it's given that there's no pressure. You know what I mean? With a competitor, there's a lot of pressure there.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to be fucking on it from day one. I didn't ask you allowed to swear on this podcast because I swear a lot.
Mate, come on. Yes, of course you are.
Brilliant. And then when it's someone else, it's right. When they come to you and they say, I've had such a shit week, this has gone, this one, and that's okay. And you have shit weeks. And I always say it to my lifestyle guys. Well, I say it to everyone, to be fair. The moment you start aiming for perfection, the moment you're going to be miserable all the time because you're going to be constantly disappointed.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist. My whole life is dictated around bodybuilding and I'm still not perfect. Okay. Neither do I fucking want to be because that's also boring. Fuck that. I don't know if that answers the question. I go off on tangents. I'm sorry.
No, it's brilliant because when we kind of step into those tangents, we're hearing the other little kind of golden nuggets that maybe we wouldn't hear if we just kind of stuck to the questions. So I love that. And it's very interesting that you say that because a lot of the ladies who join my program, it's all about they think they've got to be perfect. So the expectations are up here, but they're fucking so busy. They are the person that kind of runs a big business or they work in high pressure jobs and then they've got children and a husband at home as well. It's fucking hard. Yeah. So then when the expectations are ridiculously high, no wonder they just isolate and don't do anything.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you a little bit more. From what I can see, so the first time I met you was at Strom, probably 8 weeks ago now, was it? And
yeah, probably.
I heard you rock up before I saw who you were in a noisy as fuck car for anyone who's listening and wondering why. And I thought, how the fuck is he fitted in that car? It doesn't look.
Yeah, true.
Doesn't look like he should fit, but hey, fucking yep, you do, you nail it.
It's quite spacious.
Is it?
Yeah, deceptively.
Okay. Yeah, that is very deceptive.
And I'm not that big, so
Okay, we're not going to argue over that, but yeah. And like, obviously I spoke to Rick about you, I've spoken to you as well, and from what I can see, you're a fucking high performer. You get a lot of shit done. You are very driven, very determined. So do you agree with that, first of all?
Very determined, yes.
Not a high performer?
There's always ways to be higher. But
Absolutely.
that's my personality, is like, which I don't necessarily think it's a good thing, but I'm never like happy with where I'm at. I genuinely don't think that's a good thing. And I have tried recently actually to like be a bit more present with what's currently going on and stop looking for the next thing. Because I don't think it's actually that healthy to be like that. But it also has, there's good properties of that as well. Like, you know, I'm pretty fucking determined. I like to think that I don't want to say get what I want, but if I'm going to get, if I want something, I've got to get it, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
I think that is the typical answer of a high performer, personally. And I think it was on Chris Williamson's podcast, and he said about the 3 characteristics of a high performer, like of an entrepreneur, a successful one. And one of them is that feeling of it's never enough.
Yeah.
And you're running away from something generally.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Well, it was interesting because when I listened to your podcast with Kieran on TMP, I was like, oh God, like I kind of wanted Kieran to dig in there a little bit deeper. So maybe we can kind of take that angle today. So let's reframe it. Why are you so determined?
I'd honestly, I don't actually know, because like when people say like, what are you working towards? I haven't got a fucking clue. I literally, I have no idea. Like I've got quite bad ADHD, which helps with being like a high performer, I think, because I can hyper focus on just work and being like really fucking like anal about getting my work done and being like really, I love everything about this. And I noticed when I was younger, like I hated school. I was shit at school, hated it because I wasn't learning about anything I like.
So
And I also thought, when I look back now, I used to think like, oh yeah, I work hard. I've never worked hard in a job ever. I do bare minimum, and now I'm like, right, how much more can I do? And I'm not like here trying to like prove anything to like prove my dad wrong or what. It's none of that. Like, I get off on doing more, and I used to think it was like a money motivated thing, but now I have it. I'm like, it doesn't mean anything at all. Like, yes, it enables loads of things and stuff like that, which is great, and I'm grateful for it. But at the same time, I've put myself in that position, and if people had seen the last 3 years, like in a screenshot, they'd be like, "Fuck doing that." I just think it stems from like, I just like to. It's the best way to frame it. Like, okay, let's say someone inquires, okay, and they pay. I don't care about the money. I care about, right, this is the next thing, like, as in someone wants me, wants to work with me. That makes me feel good. Like, I remember when I was selling cars, I didn't, like, when I got commission when I sold something, I wasn't bothered about that. But if my boss said, well done, I was like, I'm definitely words of affirmation from like love language. Like, I need that 100%. But when you work for yourself, you got no one doing that. Do you know what I mean? So am I constantly striving towards someone to say, well done? Potentially. Like when my dad sends my accounts through every month and says, well done, Chris, you're doing great. I'm like, yeah, thanks, Dad.
Oh, I love that. Is he your accountant?
Yeah, well, he handles everything on that side. So, you said at the start, you still don't have anyone helping you. I don't do anything with that because I ain't got a fucking clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your thing is coaching.
Yeah, I just pay the tax when it comes. That's it.
Yeah, job done. Okay, so the words I've written down here are pressure and external validation.
Love pressure.
Do you?
Yes.
Even like, so what about in August and September when it's prep time?
I find it.
Sorry.
Well, I'll give you an example of the pressure. I came off a call just before jumping on this podcast with someone that's 3 weeks out, and I don't coach them. And he's like, I want help for this last 3 weeks. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm ready to go. Because I thrive off that pressure of like, right, I've got to land him fucking sweet.
Okay, so is it like when I say the word coasting,
What's coasting?
Like, so imagine if you went through a period where your energy dropped, you burnt out a little bit, you lost that love a little bit, and you just started to coast. How does that make you feel?
So I do burn out quite a bit. Like, I'll happily admit it. It hasn't, touch wood, hasn't happened for a good month, which is pretty good going for me. Okay.
Fucking hell.
Normally it's like once a month I'll be like, oh fuck, I'm a bit worn out here. But I feel like I'm very resilient, so I'm quite quick to recover from stuff like that. So it's like, right, I'm gonna book a spa day, I'm going out, I'm gonna just chill the fuck out, and the next day I'm ready to go again.
Mm.
I sometimes need that complete switch off, which is really difficult because I don't like switching off because I feel like that means I'm stagnant. I don't like being stagnant, but I am being reminded by someone currently that I need to sometimes be a bit more stagnant and just live now and realize it's okay to kind of stop a little bit sometimes. Hence the frequent spa visits.
I mean,
I love spa.
absolutely. And so
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you said the word stagnant, because when I said what's your relationship like with coasting, that's, I think, me asking you the same question there, because I'm very much the same as you, like coasting, settling, not really working your way towards something just gives me the fucking ick.
Well, put it this way, it says never settle on my knuckle.
Oh my God, I
So,
love that.
there you go.
That answers that one.
Yeah.
So you don't think it comes from a desire, like you said, you haven't got any childhood wounds or anything that you're trying to.
No, my dad's been pretty, like, he did well. Not like fucking like mental, but like has always worked for himself. And when I was growing up and I was doing jobs and I was like, Dad, I hate this job. Like, I want to do something on my own. And me and my dad wanted to do something together, but it's like, what the fuck do you do? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's difficult to come up with something. But he's always said, if you can work for yourself and you can do something where you don't have a premises, you just work online, do that. And when I started doing this, I mean, he gets it now, but at the time he's like, I don't understand what you're doing, but it's working. So let's just keep doing that. But yeah, he's been there like every step of the way. And I don't want to like, I'm not like proving something to my dad, but like, I like that he thinks I'm doing really well. Like, that makes me happy.
And I think it's always good to flip it. So imagine if you let him down.
Oh,
See, that's the driver.
yeah, I don't like that. Like my dad's helped me out a lot, like in my life when things have been shit and stuff like that. Like, lend me money or whatever. And I don't like that pressure of that because I'm thinking, I don't want to owe my dad money. Do you know what I mean? And like now I don't need to like worry about that. It's great. And if he needs help with something, I can help him, and that's nice. But yeah, I don't want to let him down. Fuck that.
And I think that's.
But at the same time, I don't think my dad would ever be let down. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he'd be like, I wouldn't purposely do anything that he's going to be like, you shouldn't have done that.
I suppose it's more your perception and your perspective if you feel like you've let him down based on your standards and your expectations.
Yeah. 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 If I did something, I mean, I do still do fucking stupid things. But I also run any like big decision by my dad. Because if he thinks it makes sense, it makes sense.
Love that. I love that like connection and kind of understanding that you guys have got.
Yeah, like in Feb, I did some pretty wild purchases in 1 week.
Oh.
Like, I don't want to say it without sounding like a dickhead because I don't really like talking about it, but it'll just give you an example. Like, I was buying two cars in 1 week, and he was doing all the calculations and stuff. He was like, "Well, you can do it." So, but I have to have his word. Like, I don't like doing things without it because I don't want him to think that was a stupid thing to do.
Okay, and what is the consequence of you doing something stupid? In your words, not mine.
You're good at this, you.
I fucking told you.
So I'll kind of revert this back to maybe competing. Okay, which is not going to make any sense at the moment, but it will. So when someone competes and then they put fucking 50 pounds on in 2 weeks and they fuck it up. I find like the pressure of social media or the pressure of letting people down and stuff like that, I'll never do that. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want people to be talking about me thinking, you see what's happened to him. Does that make sense?
I don't know how you've linked it to what I am.
Neither do I.
Okay,
Right, ask it me again. Ask it me again.
I'm going to go a different angle, because what I'm hearing here is self-trust, because you seem to validate yourself based on other people's perception of you.
Yes, 100%.
But you can't always control that.
That is correct. It's like if someone said, I don't like you because of X, Y, Z, I'm probably going to want to change their opinion on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People won't like you because you got a nice car and you got money, mate.
I know. Because of my personality and that I'm a nice person.
Mm.
Yes.
Interesting. So I think what we've gotten to the bottom of there is you're a high performer because one, ADHD, you have the ability to hyperfixate, and it's a blessing and a curse for sure. It cannot be the best for relationships and connections, is what I found personally, because nothing is ever fucking good enough. And to be honest, if you're working, and no one else can really kind of penetrate that time, if you like.
Correct.
Yes. Also, I think there's a thing of, you know, your dad's done well, you really fucking appreciate his opinion, and you don't ever want to let him down, and maybe that's a driver to always continue to do better. But also, you just don't like being fucking stagnant and getting bored.
Yeah, because I do get bored.
Yeah. So in regards to that, what's your worst nightmare?
Going and working for someone again.
Okay.
I don't like people telling me what to do. Not good at that.
I feel like I'm literally talking to a mirror here. Love it. Okay, so what costs we've kind of touched upon it, but I want to go into it anyway. What costs do you think come with you being this way?
So I was engaged up until end of last year, and part of the reason why that broke down is definitely to do with like my work. 100%. Because it controls me a little bit. And I can't, like, our values did not align. I want to not stop working. She's the opposite, which is absolutely fine to be like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is also no changing me sometimes.
Mm.
But I also think, okay, if I really wanted to change for someone, I would. So maybe that's potentially not the right relationship, if that makes sense. Go on. You're about to say something.
Do you have not an end goal, because that would be pretty morbid, but do you have like a goal of like, so when I'm in this position, I'm then going to open my time and my heart for somebody else? Or
yeah, I would like to get to a point of that. Like, I'm not necessarily like, I'm not really looking for like a serious relationship, but at the same time, if someone comes along where I think, oh fuck, yeah, I really like this person, I'd get in a relationship with them because their values align with mine. They know what my current goal is, and they're cool with that. But I also know that like when I am with someone, I want to be with them more. I make the time to be with them more because that's what I want to do. I mean, but in terms of like an end goal for that, like, I don't think about the next 5 years. I think about the next 5 minutes.
yes.
Like I'm a bit shit with that. Like, what's the next 10-year goal? I could be dead in 9, so I don't fucking know. I also don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I do want to get to a point where I work less and I have more time to then enjoy the things that like I've built up over time, and can be like, right, I can go and live somewhere else for 6 months this year, and probably and say no to some clients and pass them to someone else. That's great. Okay. At the moment, I don't want to do that. I buzz off every single fucking inquiry that comes through and saying yes to everything, like every single podcast on the planet at the moment, because that's what I want to do. And like, I'm a big believer in, I just do what I fucking want to do. And if I don't want to do something, guess what? I ain't doing it.
And it's a tricky place to navigate. And actually, I've spoken to a few similar people to yourself about this. And if you're of that kind of mindset, so ADHD, highly driven, you kind of have got to the point where you're living life on your terms, and your project in life, your business is your passion. To have someone come in, and these are males that I've been speaking to about this, to have a female come in, it can be quite tricky, because in the beginning the female will be like, yeah, it's completely fine, I'm all here for it, I think it's great that you're so driven. And then what can start to happen is, oh, like, we never spend any time together, and it's like
yeah, it's not even it's how present you are when you're spending that time with someone. because I know I've been guilty of that. I've just been like, well, I'm just on my phone, so I'm technically still working.
Yeah.
Which I don't like about myself, for sure. But at the same time, I know if I'm with the right person, I don't need to be on my phone.
And it's like, so like you said earlier, you're not good at doing nothing. So if you're sat just watching TV, but you could be on your phone and there could be someone who's messaged you on Instagram who's like, oh, Christian, I love what you do, blah, 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 you know, or a client's messaged you, you're gonna be drawn into that. So
Yes.
what, like, me and my partner find that we have to do is we have to switch on to what we're doing together, but it's like minimal time that we spend together, because otherwise we just fucking won't give each other that proper attention that we both deserve.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. So you think it's cost you potentially a relationship?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like a factor, for sure. I mean, it wasn't just that.
No, never is.
No, never is. And I think, like, again, up until like last year, wasn't seeing my family as much as I wanted to or should have been doing. And now I see them a lot. So I'm glad I've done that. Kind of like turn that shit around, to be fair. And I probably don't give enough time to the people that like have given time to me. Like, I always think of like this one person who like rings me quite a bit, like a school friend, just to see how I am. Which is, when you think about it, it's a really fucking nice thing to do. And sometimes I see it and I won't answer it, and that pisses me off that I don't do that. But from now, it's like I always ring him back.
Good.
But at the same time, sometimes it's like I have a job.
Yeah.
If I was working at Tesco, between the hours of 9 and 5, you can't fucking ring me. So it's the same. Okay. It's like my mom gets annoyed when sometimes I don't answer the phone straight away. I'm like, because I'm working, I will ring you back when it's not working hours.
And that is so true. And this is all you're doing here is flashing boundaries. You know, and it is like, people think, oh, you work from home, you work on like for yourself, you can answer whenever. My phone every single hour of the day is on do not disturb.
Yeah.
You cannot fucking ring me.
Wish
So
I could.
what?
I wish I could do that.
Why can't you?
That would give me the fear and the anxiety.
Oh, mate, come on, you just need to practice it. It's fine.
It's like when people tried to get me to have a second phone, like a work phone. No, I did it, and it would just cause me more stress, because now I've got two things going off.
Yeah.
No, just one is fine.
Okay, I love that. So how do you manage to look after yourself and, in your words, only burn out once a month, which I think is quite a lot, but how do you manage running the amount of clients that you do, the kind of turnover that you do in the business, and looking after yourself?
To be honest, you know, I don't really think about it, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And I know that it comes with stress, but any business comes with stress. That's okay. Like, I try and prioritize that. Like, Sunday is my day where I don't work. Okay. Clients can't message me, even though they still do, standard. I know it's a Sunday. I don't expect you to reply. Okay. But you putting a message on my phone is making me reply, because I hate having notifications. But I'll normally do things where, like, I can't be on my phone. Like, I'm very into cars, as people know. So I normally meet up, go for a drive out with people and stuff like that. So I can't be on my phone, which is good. Spa days help a lot. That's like a thing. I am going to travel a bit more, and just like, yes, I work when I go away, but it's a lot easier to work when you've got a pool next to you and the sun is out. So I'm going to try and make a bit more time to take myself away. 3 weeks time. Let's go. So
where you going?
I think I haven't actually booked it, because I just do it whenever, last minute. Santorini.
Nice.
I think. Yeah, just to fucking chill. But like, I time block my day pretty much every 15 minutes. I know what I'm doing.
Love that.
And I need that in there, else it's not all going to get done. But there is like time blocks where it's like, right, don't do this, okay, or don't do that. But they are also optional, okay, because sometimes at the end I said this on a seminar the other week, like, sometimes you're gonna have to work the 7 days a week, and sometimes you're gonna have to work past the time that you want to fucking work past. Welcome to owning a business. But like, time blocking is like a major thing I think people should do more of. Like I know exactly what I'm doing every single day this week at what times, and that helps. But it's trying to just schedule in a little bit of I'm going to chill out and not do work. But it's difficult when you love doing it.
Yeah. The way I do it, the way I kind of like bribe myself to do it is I think about the potency of my delivery. And I always know if I have good standards, good boundaries, I will then do what I do so much better.
Yeah, that's why I like try to schedule a lot of time off on the week. Like Saturday and Sunday is pretty chill for me because the workload that I have Monday to Friday requires me to be pretty fucking energized and ready for it.
And what like
at once.
100%. What like hacks do you give? Because obviously you're helping people in a lifestyle manner as well. So if you've got, so we've got like the majority of the people that listen to this will be busy modern day women, you know, children, career, all of those wonderful things. What hacks do you give to people like that in your program?
So I'm big on like setting times for things and not letting fucking like, oh, I need to that, but no, this is actually important. Okay, like I time block the gym. That's my fucking time, and I have to go and turn up to go to the gym and do that. I have an alarm on for every single meal to remind me to eat, because if I didn't, I would just keep working. Okay, and I know that like my goals are important. At the end of the day, if I had a client and they're paying me and they're not doing what they're meant to be doing, what is the point in paying me? Okay, so at the end of the day, if someone inquires, they want help. Here's the help, take it. Okay, in terms of like tips and stuff for people, is like a lot of people say they want a certain thing, but don't actually want the thing because they won't do the work for it, which is fine. But if like people are looking to like make things easier, is like, right, what's actually important to you? Let's make that like focus on the big rocks. Okay. Everyone has time to eat in a day. They do, because you've got to eat to survive. So if I'm giving you 4 meals, okay, and you say, well, I didn't eat this meal, I went to Mackey's because it was easier. Well, that technically that's not easier, is it?
No.
Because you've got to drive there, you idiot. Okay. And it's like, right, let's focus on big rocks, right? We need to drink some fluid. That's easy. Have water with you. Cool. You prep your meals, do it the night before, make sure it's ready. So you can't come off the plan, really. Okay. There's not really an excuse there. Okay. And in terms of like training and stuff, I'm pretty fucking lax, man. If you miss a training session, you're not going to die. Okay. It's not the fucking be all and end all, but if you focus on, right, I'm going to get some good sleep, I'm going to eat my food, I'm going to drink my water. That's technically not that difficult because you're going to do that in the day anyway. Okay, you have to eat, you have to drink water, and you have to sleep. Let's prioritize making those the best we can, then worry about all the other shit.
Then you're going to have the energy to prioritize the other stuff.
Witchcraft.
Literally. And this is very much the focus we go down. We've got people like, I'm just in this plateau phase. I'm like, yeah, because your sleep has gone from a 8 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10 because the baby's waking up. So we kind of got to focus on that. But it's then when you end up wrestling with reality.
Yes.
So I love that. So current limiting beliefs.
My head.
How? Because your head isn't a belief. That's a physical thing.
I don't have the biggest amount of like self-confidence in like things that I do. Like, I think it's only this year I realized, well, I'm all right at this. But like when people say, man, you're top of the tree, I'm like, no, let's reframe that. I'm not. Because there's always ways of being better, like I said at the start. But I do lack a bit of self-belief in like the things that I want to do. Like there is something that I was working on and I'm not currently working on it because like I don't want to make something and then no one buys it because that's embarrassing. And like anyone I spoke to is like, yeah, it'll do really well. I'm like, yeah, I know. But what if? Do you know what I mean? So I'm a bit like, I'm quite sometimes I can do things that are like, I'm good at this, so I'm going to stick at that and be comfortable doing that, which doesn't go in line with never settle. Okay. I know that. Obviously, time is not my biggest friend. I don't have a lot of it. Okay, so like putting energy and stuff into something else that I don't know is going to work 100%. I find that difficult to put the time into, because like I don't know if it's going to work or not. So I find that a bit difficult.
Did you know if your coaching business was going to work?
You are correct when you say that. No, I didn't. But I like to think, I don't want to say it, like, I like to think there was a bit of like luck involved with that. Like everything aligned at the right time. COVID happened, everything blew up. It was fucking great.
And how many online coaches died in COVID? A lot, not physically died, but actually the businesses.
Wow.
Extreme. A lot of online coaches fucking their businesses plummeted because they're shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, I agree. And look, I know that if I did something, yeah, it might do well and all sort of stuff, but I have a bit of fear.
What's the leverage behind doing it?
How do you mean?
Why do you want to do it? What's the point?
Because it will help people.
How?
It will make everyone a better coach.
Oh, okay.
And it will help anyone that's starting out, anyone that's half decent at it, and anyone that's really good at it. It will help everyone.
Can you say what it is or not?
I'll tell you after the podcast. But
Okay.
like a online education portal.
Okay. I think Rick has mentioned something about something. Don't know if it's the same thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and I suppose it just depends. So if you, like you said earlier, anything you want, you fucking get it. So the reason why I asked your leverage, so if you think leverage is the thing that drives us forwards, it's like, what is the leverage for that? Is that enough?
It will be a really good thing for the industry. And that's why I really want to do it, because it will be good. Yes, it will also bring something called passive. I'm going to put passive income in that, because there's no such thing as passive income. Because I've got to do a load of fucking work first to actually get it to a point where it's passive. I also need to build my online coaching business to where it is now for it to have any substance whatsoever. So there's no such thing as passive income, but it is more so someone clicks a button and I get paid. That's great. Because my problem is, the biggest problem in my coaching business is me.
Yeah. You are your bottleneck.
Yeah, because there's only one Christian Chapman.
Yeah.
Thank God. The world will be a weird place. So yeah, like I want to do it because I know it will help people, and it will also probably bring me some time, but I also need to give a load of time first to it. And it just gives me a bit of the fear. Like, talking about it gives me anxiety, Belly. Because it's like, what if I put all of that into it and then it just doesn't go how I want it to go?
Then what happens?
I'll be embarrassed.
And
I don't like being embarrassed, but I won't die. So I should just do it. Yes, I know I should do it. And like, I've got it all written down. Like, I write everything in my notes on my phone. Nice and professional. I only had a calendar diary up until this year.
how did you survive?
Just literally did everything in my notes. Weird. I know. But when you get used to something, that's just your normal.
It just works, doesn't it?
It worked.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying you should do it. I'm just saying, because also, like you said, time is scarce. So what you're probably going to need to do if you are going to do it, because you've said to me before, check-ins up until 11 every single day, that's taken. Then I can assume you've got podcasts and all these other different things that you've got booked in. So it's almost like, get your holiday done and then block out some times to sit down and go over it. Yeah. But the worst thing is that it flops. No one will actually fucking care.
True. And you know what? You know who would say this to someone who was saying it to me? Me.
Yeah.
I would say no one cares. Very different when you're doing it yourself.
You help people, coaches, to develop their business. So what would you say to them if they're like, right, I've got this idea, I'm not sure how it's going to go. What do you think I should do? Just fucking but it's not as simple as just do it, because you haven't got an abundance of time. So if you can set time to do it for 6 to 8 weeks time, start to like get some wheels in motion, see how it is. And if it goes, it goes. If not, you now know it's not worked. And it's not this thing at the back of your mind that's constantly draining energy. And a thing that I wrote down earlier that I still fucking stand by is self-trust. Because you say self-confidence, you say like you don't know, like you don't want to be embarrassed. Like it would be great to hear if you fully back yourself.
Yeah, mate, if I did, fucking hell, be game changer.
I think, yeah, I think
If I fully back myself, I know there's no real stopping anything for sure. But at the same time, that's great. But there is self-doubt. And it's not a case of, oh, just don't self-doubt. Do you know what I mean? I wish it was that easy. It's not.
saying don't breathe but stay alive.
Correct.
That's really interesting that you say that. And do you find that, does it irritate you that you doubt yourself?
I wouldn't say it irritates me because it's got me to where I am still. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, I've got self-doubt, but I've still done all right. But yeah, maybe, yeah, it does annoy me a little bit. But no one's ever asked me that question, so.
What do you think it would take to overcome it?
For me to do it and pull it off.
Okay.
So let's go and fucking do it then.
If you were one of my clients, I'd be like, so can you tell me what date we're going to launch it by, please?
Yeah.
We'll have a chat about it and I'll see if, you know, I can give you what I think about it. So limiting beliefs, we've got confidence, self-doubt, all the things that are pretty normal as human beings. You know, we are all riddled with insecurities to a degree, and there are so many things that we have going on inside our minds that stop us doing the things that we want to do. And one of my favorite quotes is feel the fear and do it anyway. It's not always as simple.
I say that all the time. Yeah, I say it all the time.
Okay, so you need to listen back to this podcast. Okay,
I probably will actually, yeah.
And go, right, okay, yep, I said that thing and I now need to do it. So what I want to know lastly is what the future, well, we kind of talked about it a bit, but I want to know what the future definitely holds for you.
More of this for a start, like just more of everything on a larger fucking scale. Because like to be fair, the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months has been like more of just fucking everything. Like more content. Like I have like 4 or 5 fucking different videographers. Great. So I've constantly got content coming all the time, which is great. Although I didn't have any today. That's why I posted just full linen shirt. Selfie.
You rock it, man. You rock it.
I am in linen. That is it. So yeah, I've constantly like content coming out all the time. The inquiries that I get are normally from higher level athletes now. Great. So more shows, better shows, all this sort of stuff. More content coming out all the time. Saying yes to every single podcast that I ever get asked on. Saying yes to do public speaking, which fucking I hate. I'm doing it. It makes me feel violently ill. But I'm going to do it. So like I'm speaking at a seminar next week. I spoke at one last week. I spoke at FitX 2 weeks before that. So it's just like everything is mental. So just expect more mental. But I do want to take on a couple of coaches.
Yes, I was just about to ask that.
But again, that requires a lot of work and time and effort to put into certain people. And I just don't know how I'm going to facilitate that. Like, I just don't. Like, I know the people that I'd ask because they work with me and have done for a very long time. So I trust them and I know what they do is good. But it's like, right, and set the launch up for doing it. Right, I need to explain to everyone how this is going to work. Right, they've got to set them up on these sheets. I don't know how I can do that.
What work? So, because do you find that you struggle with, like, so for me, I can fucking organize myself so well. And I've got vision, like I'm going to the fucking moon, like not maybe your level, but in regards to my life and where I want to go, whilst I want to be a mum as well at one point in my life, you know, I have quite big visions and where I want to go and stuff. But trying to tell someone else what goes on in here and how to do a check-in, how to do this, how to do that, it just drives me mad. So what I found works really well is hiring someone who's been through the program, like you say, you trust them, you know them, but also they're almost the opposite to you in regards to they're fucking ridiculously organized and maybe in some element of leadership at work, but not leadership like what we're in. So that's what I've done basically. And the girl who I work with, she's all systems and numbers and spreadsheets. I fucking hate it all. I'm like, she now will tell me what to do and who I'm working with and which way we're going and stuff. Yeah. So I'm like the visionary, she's the more kind of like number crunching and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Might be beneficial.
Yeah, no, I do think it is. Yeah, so I need to do that, and I do want to do this thing whenever that will be. Fuck knows, but I want to do it because it will hopefully make this industry a little bit better.
How could it fail?
I don't know. Like, I would hate for someone to buy it, watch it, and think that wasn't worth it.
Okay, we can talk about it more.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh shit, failed that person.
But again, if you fully backed and believed in yourself and the product, you know, because I'm sure you get maybe some clients who come through your program who don't get quite the results that they wanted, or it's a bit of a stickier start than what some others get. That's not on you.
Yeah. No. But I do sometimes take things personally.
But again, we're programmed to do that. Have you worked with Kieran?
No.
That could be a good thing for you to do.
Yeah, I have thought about it.
I love the deep breath there. Like,
yeah.
He's fucking incredible. Well, it's exciting for you with the future, whichever way it goes. I think hiring some coaches could be absolutely incredible. So how do people find you? How do they work with you if they want to?
Work with me. So I use Instagram. I don't do any fucking generation leads by fucking email because I'm not stuck in the fucking 90s and I don't use email. Don't email me, please. So Instagram, coached by Christian, all one word, no spaces, no numbers, nothing. I am the original.
Hey.
Okay. Drop me a message on Instagram. I don't care how you inquire. That's absolutely fine. I keep it very simple. There's no fucking type forms. Sorry, I have an issue with type forms.
Really?
Yeah. Right. I'll say, do you use type form?
For our check-ins, but not for.
Okay, that's fine. But if it, like, coaches out there, if you've got a type form, how many people do you think click on it and think, oh, I'll do that later, and then never do it later? Make it easy for someone to inquire, because they're basically saying, I want to work with you. Tell them how. Right. So in my link tree, there's a button that says apply for coaching. And all it does is take you through to my WhatsApp and you message me. There you go.
Done.
Easy. The message is already written out for you as well.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes, it says, hey, I'm inquiring about coaching. They press send. They then get me on a voice note. And I'm not going to say the rest because I don't want to tell you all my secrets. So you can inquire me from there. Same with business consults as well. You can inquire on there. As most people have been saying recently, I'm everywhere. So you'll just find me anyway. Probably on some of the podcasts.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. That was incredible. Great to talk to you. Anything you want to finish on by saying?
No.
Thanks, team. Yeah. Right, thank you so much, ladies. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please send us any feedback and get in touch with Christian if you would like to either just watch him do posts with him in his linen shirts.
It's a great shirt.
Or actually want to work with him. So thank you so much, and I'll speak to you soon.